So welcome to the video everybody. In this video I want to talk about the top 3 reasons why you will fail in your Amazon FBA journey. So these are points you want to specifically target and focus on when you're going throughout your journey to make sure you don't mess them up, because if you mess up any one of these points, I'm pretty confident your Amazon journey isn't going to go how you want it to. I'd bet a lot of money on that if you get any of these 3 points wrong. So you definitely want to stick around to every single one because they are crucial to your Amazon journey. But before we get into it, of course, I'd really appreciate it if every single person watching this video went down and hit subscribe, hit the bell notification and gave the video a thumbs up. Really helps. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So guys, kicking off with the very first point, and probably one of the first things you're going to come to, that basically if you don't get this right, it's going to mess up your entire journey, is the product. If you don't choose the right product, then you can be the best marketer in the world. You can be the best person launching products to the first page in the world. You can be the best listing creator and listing optimizer on planet Earth. But if the product isn't good, or the product isn't getting any sales, then you're just not going to get anywhere. You're not going to make any money on Amazon. So like I said, I can put the best people at every single position in Amazon in a room and just absolutely the best listing, the best launching person, the best PPC person, put them all in a room with 10,000 pieces of stock. But if there's no one else in that room to sell the stock to, they are not going to sell anything, okay? They're not going to sell a single unit, and this applies directly to Amazon. If you choose a product that has no demand, then you're not going to sell any units. You need to choose the right product. Likewise, if you choose a product that has tons of demand but is so competitive where every single person has hundreds of reviews, there's known brands in there, there's like Asda, Aldi, Specsavers, just all these like there's top brands that's like could sell things on Amazon, I guess, then you're just not going to get anywhere because you cannot get to the first page, which leads on to my second point, the launch and advertising. If you cannot get to the first page on Amazon, you're not really going to sell any units, and any units you do sell will be through PPC. So when you sell a unit through PPC, which is Amazon's pay-per-click advertising platform, every single unit you sell comes with an advertising cost. So if I'm selling a unit for £10 and that unit has an advertising cost of 50%, then it's cost me £5 to sell that unit, which is £10. So my advertising cost is 50%, of course. So if you've got an advertising cost with every single unit you sell, that's going to be, at the very beginning, destroying your margin. You're not going to be making any profit at the start. Then every single sale you make is not going to be profitable. You're going to lose money on every single sale. So if you cannot get to that first page, Amazon's never really going to go passive for you. You can apply this directly to your own situation. How often do you shop on Amazon, and how often do you actually scroll to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, even 6th page of Amazon to buy a product? So if your product's on the 3rd or 4th page, how many sales do you think you'll be getting? When you look at your own browsing habits, even if it's not on Amazon, if it's on eBay or just any online website, even say Google, when you search around Google, how often do you go to the 3rd or 4th page of Google to find the thing you want? Normally it's right there on the first page, because all these sites are basically search engines. Amazon is basically just a search engine for products. So if your product isn't really on the first page, if you haven't launched it correctly, then you're not going to be making any organic sales. You're not really going to make any sales at all. And if you can't advertise correctly and you can't get your ACoS, your advertising cost per sale, down, every single unit you sell will be at a loss. So if you are interested in getting to learn this point in particular, I do have a free ebook on launching, advertising, everything like that, called the Page One Profits ebook. So that'll be free, completely free, in the description below. So you can go ahead and check out that. But if you can't launch a product, then you're not going to get anywhere. But even if you can launch and advertise, if you don't have the right product, you're also not going to get anywhere. So you really need to make sure you focus on these 2 points and understand what you're doing when it comes to them. So what's the best way to know you've got the perfect product? Join Facebook groups, ask other people, post the product in there with obviously the product name like blanked out if you don't want people to know what it is. Ask other people's opinion on, is this a good product? What would you change? Why is it not a good product? What do you think of these numbers? Use the people around you and use the resources around you. With launching and advertising, use the resources around you. I've got a free ebook in the description below. Go ahead and get it, download it, and you can be reading it within 60 seconds. So go ahead and do that. And as for the third point, which many people, once they do the first and then second point and on the first page, they think, right, that's it. I'm making sales. This is amazing. My Amazon business is going to explode. You could do both of these points and be profitable and think, this is going absolutely great. But if you haven't taken into account this last point, it will cripple you. And this is cash flow. Excuse me, cash flow. If you don't understand cash flow and you don't have money in reserve, or you haven't planned for a reorder and the cash flow of your product of any inventory business, it's going to come back and bite you, and it's really going to cripple your business and take you a couple of steps back from where you probably thought you was just a couple of days ago. So when you launch your product and you got to the first page and making sales, that's all well and good. But when you run out of stock, if you don't have the cash flow to reorder before you run out, you're going to start to lose rank again. Obviously, when you do run out of stock after being in, you've got the sales rank, it's a lot easier to get back in stock again. But you're still going to have that thing of going out of stock and then waiting and then coming back in stock again, going out and coming back in. And the cash flow is going to be very, very difficult because Amazon pays you out every 2 weeks. They don't pay you out every day or every week. Every 2 weeks, and with that first order, you're probably not going to be making even, sorry about that, as much money as you would like. You're not going to be making the profit margin you predicted, because PPC and launching is going to eat into your profit. So not only are you going to not be making that much money back, but you're going to get that money every 2 weeks from Amazon, which isn't as often as I'd like for cash flow issues. So you've really got to plan for that. You've got to think ahead. So instead of putting every single penny you have into 500 units, maybe order 200, 250, 300 units, get to that first page, see if the product's doing well. If it starts to do well, you can reorder because you already have that spare money and get in stock. Then when the other lots sell out, you'll have already kind of stock there to get back in again. And it's a lot better than kind of putting 500 units in and that's every penny you have, and then you don't have any in reserve. You run out of stock. You have to wait for that money to come back. So the first 2 weeks, some of the money comes back, but not very much because you've been eating into by PPC and things like that. You don't have much profit. You have to wait for the second lot to come back. So you waited a month now for all your money to come back, by which point your product is sold out. If you then have a lead time of 15 days and a shipping time of like 30 to 45 days, so total lead time of 50 to 60 days, you're going to be out of stock for 2 months. So you've got to think about cash flow. You've got to plan for cash flow, have money in reserve, and just make sure you know what you're doing when it comes to the product. Just because it's on the first page and it's doing well with your first order, that really does not mean it's clear selling from here on out. If anything, it's going to get harder, because cash flow will always hurt an inventory business until you get to a ridiculous level in your Amazon business where hopefully you can have that cash flow rolling over. But even with big Amazon businesses, it still comes into effect with cash flow. So to be honest, I think these are kind of in order of importance of how important they are. If you don't have a good product, you're not getting anywhere. But if you have a mediocre product, if you can't launch it and advertise it, you're also not getting anywhere. Even if you do the top 3 things and you don't have any cash flow issue, you don't have any cash flow planning, then you're still going to have issues you're going to run into. So emphasis on these 3 points, guys. Just think about them, make sure you know them, make sure you know what you're doing when it comes to them before you enter that stage of your Amazon journey. I hope this video has helped you, and before you click off and leave the next thumbnail that's coming up all over the screen, I really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I think that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.